Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, The Amazing Dr. Clitterhouse. The starring players...
This is Edward G. Robinson.
This is Claire Trevor.
And this is Lloyd Nolan.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in a radio adaptation of the Warner Brothers picture, The Amazing Dr. Clitterhouse by Barry Lyndon. It stars Edward G. Robinson as Dr. Clitterhouse, Claire Trevor as Miss Randolph, and Lloyd Nolan as Rox Valentine. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in The Amazing Dr. Clitterhouse.
There we are. Make yourself at home, Lane. I'll fix you up in a jiffy.
Thanks, Doc.
Oh, Dr. Clitterhouse. Well, I didn't expect you back so early. Was Mrs. Updike's party duller than you thought it would be?
No, just about as dull. You remember Inspector Lane of the police department, Miss Randolph?
Yes, of course. How are you, Inspector?
The inspector's having a little trouble with his insomnia. He asked me to give him something for it, so I brought him back from the Updikes with me.
Did you enjoy the musicale, Inspector?
As a matter of fact, Nurse, I didn't get there until it was over.
Oh?
The inspector was invited quite as an afterthought, Miss Randolph. It seems that while Mrs. Updike was singing Close Thine Eyes in the parlor, somebody was in her bedroom stealing $100,000 worth of jewelry.
$100,000 worth of jewelry? Oh, that thief was no piker. Do you have any clues, Inspector?
Not yet, but we'll catch the fellow all right.
We're forgetting your insomnia, Inspector. Miss Randolph, will you get me the bottle of paradictyl chloride tablets? I believe it's in the cabinet.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and put my bag in the closet for me, will you?
Yes, certainly, Doctor.
I hope these pills fix me up. I haven't had a good night's sleep in weeks.
These robberies are getting on your nerves, huh?
Yeah, this Updike affair is the fourth in the last month. All obviously done by the same man, too. The commissioner is screaming his head off.
You have no idea who the crook is?
Not yet, but he'll make a mistake. They all do.
What kind of a mistake do you think you'll make, Lane?
Is this that hobby of yours again? The medical approach to crime?
Well, someday criminologists will thank me for that hobby. But I would like to know, what kind of a mistake are you hoping for?
Well, it would be nice if he went to the wrong fence.
Fence? Oh, receiver, you mean?
Yeah, the guy who buys the hot stuff.
Oh, yes.
Sooner or later, our man will try to peddle his swag. That'll be the end for him. No fence will take a chance with a crook he doesn't know. And I know them all. From the petty larceny guys right up to Rox Valentine.
Rox Valentine. What an interesting name.
Doctor, here are the sleeping pills.
Thank you, nurse. Anything wrong?
No.
Well,
Nothing.
you look a little upset. Well, this is the paradictyl chloride, all right. Found it in the cabinet,
No, Doctor. It was in your medical bag.
You opened my bag?
Yes, Doctor.
Well, Lane, these should do the trick. Just take the dose prescribed on the bottle.
Only half a tablet?
Well, that's all that's given as a sedative. In larger quantities, paradictyl chloride is deadly poison.
Okay, Doc, and thanks.
Good night, Lane.
Good night. Oh, say, this crook would make swell material for your book. When we get him, I'll invite you down.
Oh, I'll be there, all right. So you opened my bag, Miss Randolph.
Yes, Doctor.
Rather glittering array of equipment in that bag, don't you think?
Yes, Doctor.
Did you see any medical supplies you'd care to wear?
Dr. Clitterhouse, you stole those jewels?
They are the proceeds of my fourth burglary.
You deliberately committing a robbery?
4 robberies, Miss Randolph. Don't talk as if I were a beginner.
But what can you possibly want with all that jewelry?
I don't want it, candidly. It's a nuisance, an unfortunate byproduct of my experiments.
You're experimenting with criminals?
I'm being one. I've been planning a book on the medical aspects of crime for a long time now, Miss Randolph. My book will show how the nervous tension caused by crime changes the blood pressure, the ratio of the blood corpuscles, In fact, it changes the entire mental and physical makeup of the criminal.
But you don't know any criminals.
Precisely. So I became a criminal myself. I planned a series of burglaries and went through them. And as accurately as I could, I analyzed my medical reactions to each crime. It's merely a research in a rather unusual form. Well, let's shut up shop. I've had a pretty busy day, and tomorrow I pay a little visit to Rox Valentine.
A patient?
A fence. Well, let's, what are you looking for, Miss Randolph?
A sleeping pill.
For me?
No, for me.
Buddy, I'm telling you for the 10th time, there ain't no Rox Valentine in this apartment.
Yes, but he must be here.
Hey, wait a minute. The Swede never sent you, did he?
My good man, it doesn't pay to inquire too deeply into things that concern the Swede.
Then you are from the Swede?
Who said I wasn't?
Okay. I gotta be sure. What's he look like?
The Swede?
Yeah.
Well, he has blonde hair and blue eyes.
And what kind of an accent does he talk with?
Swedish.
I guess you're okay. But I gotta be careful. The heat's on for Rox, see? The cops are looking for him, and he gets kind of nervous.
Really? Tell me, have you ever examined him when he gets nervous? Does he exhibit any outward signs? Constriction of the pupils, for instance.
Huh?
I say, is there any constriction? You know what constriction is, don't you?
Oh, sure. But I ain't worried. I'm past the age limit. Well, come on in.
What do you want, okay?
This guy wants to see you, Rox. He's from the Swede.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, that has no bearing on our business.
Say the word, boss. I throw him out.
Now, take it easy, Poppers. I'll handle this. What do you want, buddy?
Well, I understand you're a fence, Mr. Valentine.
Yeah? So what? What's your business?
This.
Holy smoke. Diamonds. Boy, what a hunk of ice.
Hey, Poppers.
Yeah?
Get out your eyeglass. See if they're the McCoy.
Sure. Boss, is not only 100% is McCoy, but is as positively impressing the Updike brooch.
What?
The Updike brooch.
Yes, and here's the Updike tiara, the Updike necklace, the Updike bracelet,
Holy smoke.
and the Updike dog collar.
Holy smoke. What a dog collar for a pooch. What's the leech made out of, platinum?
Hey, look, Bud. You trying to tell us that you pulled the Updike job?
I'm telling you nothing. I think that these jewels, being in my possession, speak for me.
Yeah? Well, they ain't saying why you came down here to see me.
Well, it's all very simple, Rox. I need you, and you need me. What do you say to my joining you professionally?
You mean become one of the mob?
Yes.
Oh, you're screwy.
I don't know, boss. Maybe we could use him. He's got beautiful eyes.
What's his eyes got to do with it?
Not eyes. Ice. I-C-E. Ice.
Well, I'm sorry we couldn't make a deal, Rox, but that's your business.
Now, wait a minute. Maybe we could use you at that, buddy. Only, remember, I don't trust no one, see? No one.
Well, I hope I'll give you good reason to alter that philosophy.
He talks like a university professor, don't he?
Yeah. Well, you're one of the mob now, Professor. Come on, let's have a drink on it.
Thank you. Well, here's to crime and research.
Henry, what?
Never mind. Make it just crime.
Yeah, drink it down.
Well, here I am, a member of a bona fide group of thieves. It's amazing, gentlemen. Really amazing.
Dr. Clitterhouse's office. No, Inspector Lane. The doctor is still in Bermuda. Well, I can't say. It may be months. Oh, you say your headaches have returned? On account of robberies? Oh, all right, Inspector. I'll call you as soon as the doctor returns.
Hi, Professor.
Hello, Rox. Everything all right?
Yeah, that loft was a pushover. We split up. The boys will be back soon. Hey, what's that in that tube?
Blood. I took this specimen from OK before he went out on the warehouse job. I'll take another when he gets back.
You got more of OK's blood now than he has. You know, I've been wanting to talk to you, Professor.
All right, Rox. What's on your mind?
Well, I don't like the way things are going lately.
Well, what's the matter? We've been successful enough, haven't we?
Well, that ain't it. I used to be the head man around here. I don't like the way you moved in, see? And the main thing I don't like is that book you keep writing in.
Yes, but I've told you 100 times there's nothing in this book that concerns you.
Yeah? Well, if it don't concern me, why don't you show me what's in it?
Well, really, Rox, you're making a mountain out of a molehill.
I don't go in for this closed-mouth business. Come on, open up, Professor. What's your name? Who are you, anyway?
Rox, that is the major thing that doesn't concern you.
Look, everything concerns me that has to do with...
Hiya, boys. The stuff is here and it's mellow.
Oh, the most beautiful furs you ever see. I pick out a nice smink for my wife. Her sable coat was beginning to look even shabbier than her ermine.
Here, throw the stuff on the table. Let's have a look at it.
Yes, and while Rox is examining the take,
I know. Here we go again. Okay, Professor, jab away.
You too, Popus. Come on, roll up your sleeves. I'm ready with the needle.
Please, Professor. I got enough holes in me now from this. Do you know how we spray the lawn at home in our house?
How?
I drink a glass of water and go out and stand in the grass.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. You've been very good subjects. You've told me all I've wanted to know.
Oh, boy, this is really a haul. Must be $500,000 worth of furs there. My cut'll come to plenty.
Well, your cut will come to even more than you think, Rox.
What do you mean?
I'm going to divide my share among the three of you.
Professor?
Huh?
You mean you don't want no money from this job?
Exactly.
What's the idea? Seems kind of funny to me.
Funny is incomprehensible.
Well, you see, gentlemen, it's a little farewell gift from me to you.
Oh, so you're walking out, huh? Just like that, huh?
Yes, just like that.
Taking your little black book with you.
Oh, indeed I am. Pardon me, Rox. I'd like to use the phone behind you. Thank you. Hello? Yes. Yes, I've decided. Well, tell Mrs. Gansper I'll see her in the morning. What? Yes, I've weathered all storms, and I arrive home tomorrow for good. Tomorrow, then. Goodbye. Well, goodbye, gentlemen. It's been very enlightening to have known you.
So long, Professor.
Happy days, sport.
Thanks. Now, if there are no hard feelings, Rox.
Get out.
Very well. I'll see you in the medical papers, gentlemen.
You think the guy's daffy?
Daffy nothing. I'm going to do a little research on my own. Where's that phone? Give me a screwdriver, Pappas.
You taking the phone apart, boss?
Yeah, sure. I fitted a piece of pencil lead under the dial. And when your professor spun it, it went around with the dial and made a mark each time. See?
Holy smoke. Look.
Yeah, it worked pretty good. See, there's 7 marks there. Now all I got to do is sort of translate them. It's pretty nice of the professor to write down his own number for me, eh?
You're phoning his number? Hey, Rox, that ain't right.
Shut up. Hello. Is this Plaza 74018? Who? Dr. Who's residence? Oh, yeah, never mind, thanks. So that's who he is. Well, now it's my turn.
Lady Esther has presented Act One of The Amazing Dr. Clitterhouse, starring Lloyd Nolan, Claire Trevor, and Edward G. Robinson. In just a moment, we will hear the Lady Esther Screen Guild players in Act Two. But first, a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
I wonder if you've ever had this experience. You've dressed and made up carefully and gone out somewhere. You're gay and confident because you know you look your best. But after you've been out an hour or two, you catch a glimpse of yourself. My, you say, is that what I look like? Whatever happened to my makeup? Well, unless I miss my guess, one of 3 things has happened. Either your face is shiny, or it's caked and streaked, or tiny little lines are noticeable. On the other hand,
Here's what women who use my Lady Esther face powder tell me. Hours after powdering, the effect is still so wonderfully smooth and fresh, so glamorous, as though they had just spread the delicate film of Lady Esther face powder on their skin. And I'll tell you why Lady Esther is so different. At the point where other face powders are considered finished, my twin hurricane process begins. It blows the powder particles with such tremendous force, smooths them down so fine and velvety that they lie on your face like a soft, flattering veil, hiding little lines and blemishes, clinging fresh and smooth for hours and hours. I hope you'll try Lady Esther face powder right away and discover how much younger and lovelier the right face powder can make you look. Not for just a few minutes, but for hours and hours.
Doctor, before I leave, I want to tell you again how glad I am that it's all over.
My active career as a public enemy?
Yes.
Yes, that's finished. I've lifted my last collection of precious stones. From now on, gallstones. Satisfied?
Yes, completely, Doctor. Is there anything else you want done?
No, I believe not. I intend to work on my research notes tonight.
All right, Doctor. Good night.
Good night, Miss Randolph.
My, you sound happy, Professor.
Rocks. How did you get in my office?
Oh, it's a cinch. Kind of careless of a mastermind to leave his windows open, Dr. Clitterhouse.
Oh, so you know my name, too.
I know all about you.
You intend exposing me to the police?
What, me do a thing like that? No, why should I?
And what do you want?
Take it easy, take it easy. We'll get to that. While I was waiting for you, I've been reading your little black book here.
My notes?
Mm-hmm, names and everything in here. Blood analysis of OK after loft robbery. Pupils of Rock's eyes react slowly to strong light. Ought to make nice reading for the cops.
Well, I intend to change the names to X, Y, or Z. You need have no fears on that account.
You bet your sweet life I don't.
Doctor, I almost forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were alone.
It's all right, Miss Randolph. Anything wrong?
No, but I just forgot to tell you that I put some paradictyl chloride tablets in your cabinet. Mrs. Gansford might call.
Yes, her insomnia frequently keeps me awake.
Well, that's all. I'll see you tomorrow.
Stick around, sweetheart.
What?
I said stick around, sweetheart. Maybe the doc's been shooting off his mouth to you.
Doctor, what right has this man to...
I'm terribly sorry, Miss Randolph. Apparently, I've made the same mistake as the immortal Dr. Frankenstein. This is my monster.
Oh, then he must be one of the... I
was right, eh? The dame is wise.
I assure you, Rox, that Miss Randolph is the soul of discretion. Please let her go.
She stays, Doc. She knows what the score was, so she might as well know what the score's gonna be.
You have a plan, Rox?
Sure. These notes of yours prove plenty, and I got 'em. That sort of puts you over the barrel.
I see. I suppose you force me to continue working with you.
Oh, not with me, Doc. You'll be working for me. I'm the boss of the outfit again.
Very interesting.
Yes, wonderful. You got an in with a lot of rich guys, and you're going to use it. You're going to slip me the layout of their houses, find out safe combinations, tell me when they won't be home. Oh, it'll be a cleanup for me. And just to show you I ain't a bad guy, I'm going to give you 10%.
Well, your generosity stuns me.
You'll take it and you'll like it.
Doctor, you mustn't let him do this to you.
I'm afraid it's unavoidable. What else can I do?
Nothing. Except maybe offer your new boss a drink, huh?
Yes. Good suggestion.
Yeah.
I have some excellent scotch in the cabinet.
Oh, it's swell. About 6 fingers in a water glass ought to do the trick. How about you, sweetheart? A little snifter?
No, thank you.
Don't be like that. Say, you ain't bad looking. Sure, take them flat heel shoes off you and take some of the starch out of that uniform.
Leave her alone, Rox.
Oh, private stock, huh? Well, okay. But hurry up with that drink. Talking to her gives me a chill.
It's on the way. Rox, do you seriously mean all you've said?
Just try and cross me, Doc. You'll find out.
Well, that's that. Here's your drink.
Oh, thanks. That's not bad.
Quite old. You probably noticed the full smoky flavor.
Yeah, well, here's a toast. To a killing for me and 10% for you.
Well, couldn't you make that to crime and research?
You're still harping on research, eh?
Yes, because I have some more to do. I've neglected a study of the greatest crime of all.
What's that?
Murder.
Oh, that's bad business, Doc. You can't get away with it.
Oh, I don't know. It's quite easy for a doctor to eliminate someone. A poison administered in the guise of medicine, the body dropped in some convenient river, and the verdict would be death by drowning.
You got a nasty mind, Doc. I get sort of sleepy.
You are, Rox?
Yeah. Yeah, that drink, I guess, it sure hit me.
Did it, Rox? Look at me. Can you see me clearly?
No. It looks funny and small and far off.
My voice sounds rather indistinct, doesn't it?
Talk louder. I can't hear you good.
Doctor, what have you done to him?
As you pointed out, Miss Randolph, there were paradictyl chloride tablets in the cabinet.
Hey, Doc. I can't open my eyes.
No, Rox, and you never will again.
I'll fix this.
There's no use struggling. Unfortunately, you placed me in a position where this was the only way out. I couldn't very well sacrifice my life's work because you were greedy, could I, Rox? Could I, Rox? No, I couldn't.
You killed him?
Yes. Miss Randolph, will you assist me, please? I want to take my blood pressure.
Good morning, Dr. Clitterhouse.
Oh, Inspector Lane. Well, delighted to see you. What brings you out so early, Inspector?
Oh, got another splitting headache.
Oh, well, that's too bad. How long have you had it?
Since early this morning. It started when we fished the body of Rox Valentine out of the river.
Oh, really?
He was full of poison. Paradictyl chloride.
Well, how distressing for him. Any clues?
Yes, in his pocket was a book of matches with a telephone number written inside the cover. It was somewhat blurred by the water, but it's either Plaza 74018 or Plaza 74016.
Well, it couldn't be Plaza 74018. That's my number.
Yes, so it must be the other one.
4016?
That belongs to the Beauty Form Girdle Company.
Valuable clue, Inspector.
We'll get more. We just picked up Harry Pappas and O.K. Kinsella, and we'll soon have a complete description of the mysterious professor. I'm on my way to talk to him now.
Yes, but your headache, Inspector.
It's almost gone. However, don't be surprised if I drop back later today.
No, I won't. Goodbye, Inspector. Miss Randolph,
Yes, Doctor?
get Chester Wood on the phone, please.
Your lawyer?
Yes, tell him I want to see him immediately.
Doctor, why did Inspector Lane come here? Was it...
He had a headache, Miss Randolph.
Oh,
The contagious kind. Now I have one. I made a slight error last night. After all, it's my first murder. Inspector Lane will be back soon to place me under arrest.
Doctor, it's not fair. Can't you make them see that?
Now, don't worry, Miss Randolph. It's a clear case of monomania. It's my own personal position. I've just diagnosed my own case.
Yes, Dr. Clitterhouse?
I'm crazy. Miss Randolph, absolutely crazy.
Order in the court, please. Will the foreman of the jury please stand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you arrived at a verdict?
No, Your Honor. We can't figure out the testimony of those aliens. They talk about melancholia and psychoneuroses and hyperamnesia until it's enough to drive anybody nuts. Pardon the expression.
Their language leaves a doubt in your mind.
That's right. We know Dr. Clitterhouse killed Valentine. He says so himself. But we've listened to all those experts, and we still don't know whether he's sane or whether he's, well...
Go ahead. I'll pardon the expression.
Thanks, Your Honor. Nuts.
I'm sure that none of us has any desire to prolong this trial. Dr. Clitterhouse,
Yes, Your Honor.
would you resume the witness stand?
Certainly, sir.
Mr. Foreman, I'm recalling Dr. Clitterhouse in order to put several questions to him myself.
I hope it works, Your Honor.
Are you ready for the questioning, Dr. Clitterhouse?
Look, Your Honor, I'm tired of all this nonsense. Let's get it over with. I'm not insane at all. I was aware of the consequences of my actions that night.
You were?
Yes. That not of their extent or far-reaching possibilities.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Wood.
Your Honor, could we have a short recess?
I'm sorry, Mr. Wood, but that's impossible.
But I'm afraid that the strain on my client...
That will be all, Mr. Wood. Now, Dr. Clitterhouse, as a competent medical authority, do you believe it's possible for an insane man to write a sane book?
Emphatically not.
In that case, do you consider your book, Crime and Research, to be irrational and of no scientific value?
Quite on the contrary, Your Honor. I consider my book completely rational and of definite scientific value. Say what you please about me. Do anything to me the law allows, but you must not question the sanity of my book.
I see. Now, assuming that it is impossible for an insane man to write a sane book, in your opinion, you are perfectly sane?
Perfectly. Now, do what you will with me.
I'm sorry, Dr. Clitterhouse, but if, as you say,
Your Honor,
Mr. Foreman?
you don't have to ask him anything else. We've reached a verdict.
Well, what is the verdict?
Not guilty, by reason of insanity.
How on earth did you arrive at that?
Your Honor, the prisoner hasn't got a prayer unless he proves himself insane. His life depends on it. So there he sits, trying his best to prove he's sane. Only an insane man would do that. So he must be, pardon the expression, nuts, very nuts.
Dr. Clitterhouse, you've heard the verdict of the jury. Have you any comment to make?
Amazing. Really amazing.
Thank you, Edward G. Robinson, Claire Trevor, and Lloyd Nolan for appearing with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players tonight.
Oh, that was our pleasure, Mr. Bradley. You see, the Motion Picture Relief Fund, which benefits from these programs, is very important to all of us in the industry. We are vitally interested in the fund and the country house and the clinic which it supports. And now, before we tell you about next week's show, here's a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Trevor. Ladies, I promise you a thrill and a surprise when you first apply Lady Esther face powder. Surprise that any powder can make you look so much younger, so much prettier. But the real thrill of using Lady Esther face powder comes hours later, when you take out your mirror to repowder and find your face still as smooth and glamorous as though you'd just made up. I thank you, and my husband thanks you, a girl wrote me who just discovered Lady Esther. He hates to see me constantly repowdering. And even more, he hates the mask-like look I've been getting with my recent makeup. So many women have told me that. Told me no makeup stays fresh and flattering as long as Lady Esther. And I know it's true, because my special twin hurricane process makes powder different from others. More vitally alive-looking and infinitely softer, smoother, and more clinging. Find out for yourself why more women use Lady Esther face powder than any other kind. Try my face powder and look your most enchanting. Not just for minutes, but for hours and hours.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present My Son, My Son. It will star Geraldine Fitzgerald, Freddie Bartholomew, and Brianna Hearn. Be sure to listen. Edward G. Robinson is soon to be seen in the Columbia comedy Mr. Winkle Goes to War. Claire Trevor will soon be seen in the RKO radio picture Farewell, My Lovely. Lloyd Nolan is soon to be seen in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, a 20th Century Fox production. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. To try Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, just get the smallest size jar. Later, you can get the economical large jar and keep refilling the small one for convenience. This is Truman Bradley, speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night, everyone.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
connection with the Fifth War Loan Drive, Lady Esther presents a special broadcast from the stage of the famous Pantages Theater in Hollywood. A radio version of Paramount Pictures' sparkling comedy, No Time for Love, starring Claudette Colbert, Fred McMurray, and Hedda Hopper. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in No Time for Love. Miss Catherine Grant is one of the country's leading photographers employed by Mirror magazine. But she and the editor are slightly out of focus, with the natural result at least once a month.
Mr. Chrisley, I resign.
Miss Grant, I accept.
But Kate is more or less engaged to Henry Fulton, who happens to own the magazine. And the result of that...
Miss Grant, I apologize and beg you to return for the sake of my wife and 3 children who must eat.
Are you insinuating that Mr. Fulton forced you to ask me back?
If the shoe fits.
Mr. Chrisley, I refuse to take advantage of my friendship with the publisher. I ask for no soft assignments and no special courtesies.
May I take you at your word, Miss Grant?
You most certainly may.
That's fine. Then I have an assignment for you. I'd like some pictures of that new tunnel they're building under the river.
What?
Which explains why Kate is in the tunnel next day, but doesn't quite explain why she picks on Ryan. Ryan is a sandhog, you see. He's big, brawny, and good-looking, and knows it. Stripped to the waist, he pounds his drill and ignores the mud-spattered girl standing by.
Pardon me. I said pardon me.
Sure, I heard you.
I'd like to ask some questions. What do you do?
Me? I'm a butterfly presser.
I mean, what's your title?
No titles down here. We're all Democrats. What do you want?
Would you like to pose for me?
Didn't bring my butterflies.
Oh, don't try to be cute. I'm taking some pictures and I need a fairly human model.
That's out. My mama done told me.
Why, you fresh, ill man. Get back!
Hey, who you shoving?
Get back, you soldier!
Now, don't you worry, miss. Don't you worry. Like as not, he'll be on his feet before we can even get out of this tank.
Yes, but while you keep him in here, he may need a doctor. Why not take him right out?
Now, lady, that's high pressure in a tunnel. You gotta go out slow or you get the bends.
Steady, nose. Steady. He's coming through. Come on, Ryan. Come on. Quit stalling.
Shake your head, kid. See what happens.
Nothing. I guess I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Are you still here?
Now, is that thanks for saving your no-good life?
Huh?
Sure, that girder that beams you square.
Pushed you back, she did.
She did. Thanks.
Oh, don't strain yourself. You're still weak.
Don't pay him no attention, miss. He's just a swole-headed goof.
Another crack like that and you get a free lump.
Jiggers, kid, Superman is sore.
Clancy, I warned you.
Don't you?
Here I go!
No, wait!
Wait, for what?
Just till I get my camera set.
I told you to lay off. I told you, Clancy. You too, Morrissey. And here's your feet.
1 against 3. Wow. What's that?
Oh, he smoked the superintendent and Pete's out cold.
Oh, hey, Pete, come on, wake up, Pete.
Look, miss, look. Now, this maybe could mean our job. See, you didn't see nothing. Do you understand?
Yes, I mean, no, of course I didn't.
Then it was an accident. Go ahead, Ryan. Let the superintendent in.
Look, Ryan, I know the super asked you to bring me through the shaft, but anyway, I'd like to thank you.
What for? It's on company time.
Look, why not take the chip off your shoulder?
There's no chip. You're just not my type of dame, that's all.
Type of dame?
You've been on the prowl ever since you met me. Aren't you old enough to know that?
Why, you conceited ape!
I just thought I'd wise you up that you're wasting your time.
Oh, really? Is it actually within the limitations of your exalted ego to believe that a woman of education and love of the finer graces could fall for you?
I don't get all that.
Well, then I'll put it this way. At home in my bedroom, I have an inanimate, lifeless object, a chair, that has 10 times more quality and character than you.
A chair?
A chair, Mr. Groundhog. Good day.
Chair? A chair? Screwy.
Hoppy, that print's awfully slow coming up. Maybe the developer's weak.
I'll mix a new batch in the morning, sis.
Kate, dear, are we going to spend our whole evening in the dark room?
Well, some men would give their right arm for the chance.
Well, after all, Henry, it's part of my job, just because you happen to be my boss.
But there are other things besides work. When two people are engaged for an entire year, by your own admission...
Now, don't misquote me. I simply got mad at the world one day and said I'd probably end up marrying you.
But, Kate...
Hoppy, pull the print out now.
Kate, it's a Lulu.
That's pretty good action stuff, I caught him just as he caught Pete on the chin.
Wowie, King Kong. Oh, say, could we put him under contract and exhibit him?
It certainly shows what I wanted it to. A complete physical personality. A mental throwback to the alphabet soup era.
Well, you can't have all those muscles and think.
Yeah, it's a good picture, Kate. We'll run it next week.
No, not this one, Henry. This is not for publication. I wouldn't want those men to lose their job.
But, darling, it...
Hey, there's the doorbell.
Drop that print in the fixer, Hoppy. I'll be right back.
Hello.
Oh.
You left this tripod in the tunnel.
Oh, well, thanks. I was going to call
Well,
you.
while I'm here, I'd like to see that chair.
Chair?
Yeah, that bedroom chair that's better than me.
Oh, well, perhaps I was exaggerating a little.
I'll decide that. Just show me the chair.
All right. This way. There you are.
This?
That.
Funny-looking chair. Let's see how it sits.
Oh,
Well, what do I owe you?
an apology.
Yeah, a chair is supposed to be sat on. I sat.
I'm not speaking about the chair. You made certain remarks today.
Well, what about you? You know, you spoiled my supper tonight. How was that chair better than me?
Well, it had grace and quiet dignity and beauty.
Oh, you're talking through your ears. Like I said, a chair's made to hold people up. That one couldn't. I can.
Don't you dare. You put me down, do you hear? Put me down this minute.
You want to leave a chair, you just walk away. Try and get away from me.
You put me down or I'll scream for help.
Oh, yeah?
Stop it. Stop it, I say.
Yeah. Now you got something to scream about.
You coward. Kissing a woman.
What am I supposed to kiss? Anyway, why didn't you scream?
Oh, I'm no child.
I'll say you aren't, but I don't think you know it. Maybe this will help you grow up. Hey, you're 5 years older already.
Kate, what's going on in there?
Hey, look, it's Superman.
You, sir. What are you doing here?
No, don't get excited, sweetie pie. I'm going now. So long, baby. Thanks for the laugh.
Darling, you owe me an explanation.
Huh?
What happened in here?
Henry, I don't even know myself. Superman, don't take me, fly away, fly away. Superman is strong, so strong.
Kate, wake up.
Oh, what? What's the matter?
You were dreaming again.
Oh, I know. He took me in his arms. Oh, Hoppy! Hoppy, he was back again, the third night in a row. What'll I do?
Well, try sending him home tonight, and maybe we'll think of something in the morning.
Hoppy, it's the only way. I've analyzed it coldly and without prejudice. It's not the man himself who's plaguing me. It's my subconscious thoughts about him. And if I make those thoughts repulsive, they'll leave me forever.
That's swell. But how do you do it?
By deliberately associating with him. Until even my subconscious must face the truth that he's boorish and moronic and completely revolting.
But what if something goes wrong? You might find yourself living in a tunnel for two.
No, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Oh, answer that, will you? I'll look him up in the telephone book.
Take it easy. I'm coming.
Oh, let's see. Raymond, Robinson, Reuben. Oh, here it is. Ryan. Like rabbits.
Oh, Kate.
I can't find him, Hoppy. Do you think he's in the classified under Sandhog?
He's in the living room under his hat.
He is. Hoppy, is my hair all right?
I thought this was purely scientific.
Oh, of course it is. Excuse me. Oh, Mr. Ryan. Hello.
Sweet kid.
Well, what's the matter now?
This picture in Mirror magazine.
Well, that's the picture I took.
Sure. It's the one you took while I was socking Pete. You knew I'd be in a jam if it was printed.
I don't understand.
I do. You had to make yourself look good with your boss. So right now, when I need every cent I can get, along comes this, and I get tossed out in my ear. A 4-month suspension.
But I swear I had nothing to do. Oh, Hoppy?
Coming, sister dear. Did I hear you calling?
You certainly did. What about this picture?
Nice, isn't it?
Hoppy, you knew it wasn't to be released. Now, who got it?
Henry?
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I thought he was right. The way this gorilla acted the last time he called.
Gorilla? Me?
Who do you think you are, anyway? Barging into people's places uninvited, keeping them awake at night?
Awake at night? What are you talking about?
Ask my sister. She hasn't been able to...
Hoppy, you're hysterical. Darling, go in and take an aspirin.
All right, but that won't help your headache any.
Mr. Ryan, you mustn't mind Hoppy. She's a little...
I know. Hoppy. Everybody is around here.
I wasn't responsible for the publication of that picture. Please, I want you to believe me.
Okay. Doesn't help anything, but I'll take your word for it.
Still, I was involved, so if you need money, I mean, if it's a question of your going hungry...
Who's going hungry? You angling to toss some charity my way?
No, well, I'd like to offer you a job during your suspension.
Working for you? Like what?
Well, I have certain plans.
Lady, I told you I don't want to play. If you want to buy some muscles, go out and get a cheap cut of beef.
Why, you big ape! I'm not interested in your nauseating charms. I'm offering you a job.
What could I do around here?
Carry all my heavy photographic equipment. With proper training, you might even learn to snap a switch and turn on a light.
Oh, no posing?
No, Mr. Ryan. You may conceal your magnificent figure at all times under an overcoat and 3 blankets.
Well, a man's got to be careful these days. What's the pay?
What were you getting?
$150 a week.
Well, I naturally...
Naturally, what can you afford?
Say 35 or 40.
Well, make up your mind.
35.
Okay, it's a deal.
You really mean you... Well, that's fine, Ryan. You'll start at once.
Well, you're the boss. Now, what do I do first?
First of all, you take off your hat.
Oh.
Lady Esther has presented Act One of No Time for Love, starring Fred McMurray, Hedda Hopper, and Claudette Colbert. In just a moment, we will hear the Lady Esther Screen Guild players in Act Two. But first, a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
A friend of mine who has just joined the Spars wrote me a very interesting letter in which she said that one of the rules for girls in the service is that their makeup must not be obvious. Now, I like that rule. I've always said that the loveliest girls are the girls who use makeup to bring out the natural beauty of their skin. It's such a mistake to use makeup that's conspicuous, that covers up your skin beauty like a mask. And you no longer need to. For, you know, so many women have written to tell me that Lady Esther face powder really does bring out the fresh, natural beauty of their skin. They say that Lady Esther face powder is so soft and fine, so wonderfully even in color, that it's delightfully different from other face powders they've used. And they're quite right, for there is a very real difference between my face powder and almost any other powder you can buy. You see, Lady Esther face powder is twice blended. Now, the first blending is just the usual mixing and sifting. And at this point, it's the texture of almost any face powder. But I don't consider it fine enough or sufficiently even in color. In fact, I call it raw. So my powder goes through a second blending, the famous twin hurricane blending, where tiny particles of color and powder are blown together at hurricane speed. And the result is a powder of exquisite fineness in texture and almost unbelievable evenness of color. That's why Lady Esther face powder gives your skin a thrilling new softness, a more delicate coloring. That's why you have the charm and appeal of fresh, natural loveliness when you use Lady Esther face powder.
Kate has given Ryan a job. Apparently to put him in his place, which means out of her thoughts. Now let's see how the plan is working. They've just returned to Kate's studio after covering their first job together. A job which obviously needed covering. A popular Broadway dancing chorus.
Ryan, you're an absolute genius. Not only did those chorus girls think you're my boss, they believe you own the magazine.
Can I help it if I look like an executive?
And that awful blonde, the one you kept maneuvering up front.
Oh, you mean Darlene.
Is that her name? Sounds like a substitute for butter.
She does 5 shows a day. Could you do that?
Those simple little dance steps? Oh, I've seen children dance better on their hands. If I'd bleach my hair, I could look just as cheap and tough as Darlene and 6 friends.
I bet you could at that. You know, you could be a lot of woman if you ever got the urge.
Ryan, you're speaking to your employer.
You got brains and ability, good looks, everything a man admires in a woman.
Well, thank you.
Are we working tonight?
No.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Then would you be as sweet as you look and lend me your car?
What?
Thanks, pal. I maneuvered myself a date with Darlene. Good morning, boss. Oh, nice to see you, too.
This should be very interesting.
Oh, you mean because I didn't bring the car back last night, huh? Well, I finished so late, I thought...
Finished what?
Are you kidding?
Ryan, you're positively disgusting.
Fair enough. Well, you owe me 1 day's pay.
You're not quitting.
Wasn't I just fired?
No, you were being reprimanded.
Oh. Well, let's get to work, huh?
Yes, Oh, Ryan.
Yeah?
Ryan, you don't think much of me, do you?
What difference does it make?
I'd like to know why.
Well, it isn't exactly that I don't like you. You look pretty good if you ever let your hair down. I guess you could get any man you went after.
Except you.
Do you want me?
Well, why should I?
Then quit playing.
Look, Ryan.
You know what your trouble is? Your head's full of hash. If you'd say, look, Ryan, I'm nuts about you, you might find that I feel the same way about you. Instead of that, you play Chinese checkers.
What on earth gave you the idea that I'm nuts about you?
Well, are you or aren't you?
Of course not.
Well, then what do you want from me? Why don't we go and do our job?
Well, go ahead and do it.
All right. No, on second thought, I don't want to do it. Do you mind if I quit?
Whatever you wish. I would like to know why.
Because the longer I'm around you, the goofier I get. I'm a grown man. I've taken care of myself since I was a kid. I think I'm as good as anybody on earth. And then you come along and things start happening.
You mean you can't eat, you can't sleep, you wake up in the morning and the world is sort of purple?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Because I'm nuts about you, Ryan.
No kidding.
Well, I'm not nuts. Catherine Grant, are you drunk?
Where's your manners? Can't you see she's busy?
Ryan, if my sister hasn't the willpower to do what she planned, I'll have to do it for her.
What's she talking about?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Kate, you don't have to lie. You know you gave him a job because you didn't like him. And you hope that would make you like him even less. Just try and tell me that wasn't your plan.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell her.
I'm all mixed up. You see, that was my plan, but then
It's no use, kid. I guessed right the first time. You're a phony from heel to heel.
Ryan, please, listen.
And you still owe me that day's pay. You can send it to your favorite charity if its name isn't Kate. So long.
He's gone.
Oh, I had to do it, honey. You were losing your head.
And you ought to lose yours, you small-time goodwill court.
Seen the headlines this morning, Miss Grant? They've had to stop work on that tunnel under the river.
I'm not interested, Mr. Chrisley. I've served my sentence in that tunnel.
Seems they've run into a whole series of cave-ins. Be great spot news stuff, all right.
Do I gather you want me to photograph a hole in the ground that's filled up?
Well, not exactly. A fellow claims he can save the tunnel. They're giving him a chance to prove it today.
Oh, it sounds like Aunt Minnie's pipe dream. What's his name?
I've got it here somewhere. He's an engineer. Went to work as a sand hog a few years ago to get the practical side of underwater construction. Now he's developed this machine he claims will hold back the mud and... Oh, yes, here it is. His name's Ryan, James Ryan.
Ryan?
Do you know him?
Yes. Well, not as well as I thought. don't you see, Clancy? It's the only way I can make it up to Ryan. Good publicity right now would help him a lot. If that machine of his works, and I have the pictures
I
to
don't
prove
see how
it.
you're going to get him, miss. They won't leave no one go into the tunnel with him. Except Pete and Morrissey and me. We volunteered.
That means they'll have a guard at the tunnel.
Of course, if someone was to kind of hang around that machine...
Yes?
And seen a chance and hid under the cover, then...
Oh, Clancy, if you weren't married, I'd kiss you.
Come on now. 3 feet of water down here and more coming in.
That boarding on the head might go any minute.
I can see 6 spots ready to go.
No, Pete, those spots you're seeing are from bad booze.
Ryan, we ain't got near enough pressure to hold back that muck. If them bulkheads give, we all be buried in here in 2 seconds flat.
Clancy, I told you, this machine will freeze that stuff hard. Then they can build up all the pressure we need. Now, come on, you baboons, get the cover off.
Let's go. The sooner I get out of here, the better I'll... Well, look who's here.
Hello.
What the... Holy mother, the jinx.
Kate, what are you doing here?
Don't worry, I won't be in your way.
Ryan, let's get her out of here.
Haven't got time. They can't hold this pressure up forever. Morrissey, check the power hookup. Pete and Clancy, help me with the machine.
Okay,
Now, steady now. Right up against the boarding. There. That's it.
Power's on.
Right. Now, listen, you guys. You yank that boarding loose and get clear. We'll be shoving this drill right through your backs. We've got to freeze that muck before it buries us, understand?
Yeah, sure.
All right, okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Pull! All right, stand back!
Hey, Ryan, that stuff is piling in.
Hang on, Clancy.
Till it's up to my ears, but no longer.
Hey, it's slowing down. It's working, Ryan.
Sure, it's working, mutton ears. This is my baby.
Get them pictures, miss.
I got him, Clancy. I'll have enough.
Look out, miss, look out, right above you.
Holy mother, she's buried.
Come on, dig her out and run for the tank.
But, Miss Grant, I don't understand. You had these pictures. Why didn't you tell us when you came out of the tunnel?
It wasn't until I was on my way home that I realized I'd held onto my camera through the whole thing.
And you believe these pictures indicate that Ryan's machine really worked?
Absolutely. The first one was taken just as they started the drill. The next one about 30 seconds later. You can see that the flow of muck was cut to less than a half. Believe me, if the men hadn't stopped to rescue me, the experiment would have been completely successful. Besides, if you abandon the tunnel, there'll be millions lost. On that basis alone, you should be willing to finance Ryan for another try.
Well, the board will have to discuss that, of course, but this evidence is most encouraging.
Only one thing. If you do give him another chance, please don't mention the photographs or me.
Well, we certainly would oblige you, Miss Grant, but I must say I don't understand.
Very few men do.
Ryan's on the front page today, Kate. They're calling him a public hero.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. And you're 12 pages behind him yourself. The society column. Catherine Grant, famous photographer, announces engagement to Henry Fulton.
That's the best news that paper has printed in years.
Sure, now you're being sensible.
Correct. I've been pretty flighty, all right. I need a high-grade block of concrete like Henry to hold me down.
Absolutely. Not romantic, but safe.
Romantic marriages went out with smelling salts. If you don't choose a husband with common sense, you deserve to fall in love and starve. You deserve it, do you hear me?
Okay, I agree. What do you want from me?
An argument, you dope.
But Ryan, I tell you, she's in love with you. Oh, she's only marrying Henry because you turned her down. Don't ask me again why I called. Oh, I must be nuts, too. Yes, and what's more, she's responsible for the chance you're getting. No, I can't tell you now. They're in the living room. If Kate found me calling you, she'd break my neck. And, brother, if something doesn't happen soon, I think I'll come over and break yours.
Hello.
Kate, it's Superman.
Ryan.
Kate, did you have the audacity to invite this man here?
No, that was somebody else's idea.
Mr. Ryan, how dare you invade the privacy of my home?
I've got something on my mind. Excuse me, Henry. Up you come, little man.
Put me down.
Now, take it easy. It won't be long. Just want to see something in the bedroom, that's all.
If you don't release me this instant, I'll call the police.
There we are. Famous bedroom chair. You got it fixed, huh?
Brian, what does this mean?
Kate, I think you're being a little hasty, so I thought we'd better have a little checkup.
If you think you can walk in here and...
Just figure it like this. Him, the chair, and me. Figure the law allows you only one of us. And we all want you, regardless of what's been said on both sides. Go ahead. Make your pick.
Catherine, are you going to be a party to this nonsense?
Please, Kate. Please.
Oh, you big lug. I love you.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get legalized. Thanks for everything, Hoppy. Come up and have dinner with us sometime, huh?
How about tomorrow night?
Oh, not tomorrow night.
Thank you, Claudette Colbert, Fred McMurray, and Hedda Hopper for a most delightful half hour. Fred McMurray will be back in just a moment, but first, a word from one of America's foremost beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Did you ever stop to think that nothing just happens? There's a reason for everything. For instance, it isn't merely by chance that you find one dress more becoming to you than another. The reason for your preference lies in better design, better material, better workmanship. You know you don't have to take a chance with Lady Esther face powder. There's a very good reason why my powder is more flattering to your skin. It gives a softer, fresher look. You see, Lady Esther face powder is twice blended. Now, if it were blended and sifted only once in the usual way, it would be like many other face powders. But it's the second blending, my exclusive twin hurricane blending, that makes the difference. For this time, the tiny particles of powder are blown together with the speed of a hurricane. And that, you see, is what gives Lady Esther face powder its wonderfully smooth, fine texture. That's why each shade is so clear and rich and beautiful. Naturally, then, it doesn't surprise me when I read letter after letter from delighted women who say, "My skin looks so much more attractive since I've changed to Lady Esther face powder."
And now, here is Fred McMurray.
Mr. Bradley, I'd like to talk about our audience. They didn't get their tickets from Lady Esther tonight. The tickets for this broadcast were printed in Washington. Some of them said $25, some said $50, and some said $100. Yes, United States war bonds. Every man and woman in the Pantages Theater tonight bought at least one before he took his seat. These men and women, these Americans, weren't just buying a ticket to a broadcast. They were buying a share in the greatest drama the world has ever known, and at the same time helping to write the final curtain line, victory. You have the privilege of sharing in that victory, too. Buy as much as you can, as soon as you can, and help make the world a decent place again. Get that extra bond tomorrow.
Lady Esther's airtime next Monday night will be used to broadcast an event of national importance. Claudette Colbert will soon be seen in the David O. Selznick production, Since You Went Away. Fred McMurray is currently appearing in the Paramount production, And the Angels Sing. Hedda Hopper appeared through the courtesy of Hollywood Showcase. No Time for Love was presented through the cooperation of Paramount Pictures, producers of I Love a Soldier. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. To try Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, just get the smallest size jar. Later, you can get the economical large jar and keep refilling the small one for convenience. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night, everyone.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, The Informer. The starring players:
This is Charles Bickford.
This is Isabel Jewell.
Sir Wallace Ford. And this is Reginald Denny.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild players in one of the greatest motion pictures the screen has ever known. John Ford's RKO Academy Award winner of a few years ago, The Informer. It stars Isabel Jewell as Katie, Charles Bickford as Jippo Nolan, Reginald Denny as Dan, and Wallace Ford as Frankie. The Lady Esther Screen Guild players in The Informer. Ireland, during the Great Trouble, when every night brought its killings and every morning its retaliations. The countryside policed by the British military, the hated Tans. The people sullen and secretive, invisibly leagued against the enemy, England. Dublin, a shabby section near the waterfront. A night that's out of a witch's tale. Fog stretching its ghostly fingers through the streets and wrapping the town in a heavy white shroud. And on one of those miserable, darkened streets, a little group standing before a brick wall, staring up at a poster that's been pasted there and muttering among themselves.
Frankie McPhillip's face on a poster. Heart is an evil day, ever see it there?
£20 the Tans be offering for him. Sedition against the crown, no less.
£20. 'Tis a fortune, it is. I'll curse the man who would be soiling his hands with it.
They melt away into the night. And as they go, another figure comes lumbering through the fog. Jippo Nolan, a great hulk of a man, slouching despondently along the street. He sees the poster and stops, stares at it moodily, lost in his thoughts. And then finally, almost without knowing it...
So they got your face on a poster, Frankie. They're offering £20 for you, eh?
£20.
Sure, and I'd break the man in two that would tell on you for £20.
£20.
You needn't worry about me, Frankie. I'd not be the one would inform on you. I'd not be the one that would...
£20.
Stop it now. I won't be thinking a thing like that.
£20.
That'll stop it. Oh, I've ripped it down. I won't be seeing it. I won't be thinking it. God help me, I'll not be cursed for no £20 like that.
And so he lurches off through the fog, down the dimly lit street, fighting the terrible thought in his mind. And suddenly something catches his eye. In front of a little travel agency, a girl and a man.
It's a good time you'll be having, miss. I'll treat you proper, I will.
I've told you no. Go along with you now.
Would you be passing up an evening's pleasure like that? With maybe dinner first?
With dinner?
Aye, the very best. I'm an easy man with money, miss. And for a girl like you...
Let go of me, you scut.
Jippo!
Take your hands off me. Put me down. I'll put you down, all right. 10 feet from here.
Let me go.
Oh, Jippo, you've hurt him.
Bad luck to him. Serves him right. And you, Katie, what have you got to say?
Oh, Jippo, what's the use? I'm hungry and I can't pay my room
So
rent.
you'd go along with the likes of him. You'd go along and...
Oh, Jippo, don't look at me like that. You know you're the only one for me. But what chance have we got? Money, that's all that counts.
Ah, Katie.
Look in the window there. It says travel, see the world. Sure, the world is ours for £20.
£20.
What are you saying that for?
Saying what?
£20.
What are you driving at?
Jippo, my arm. What's the matter with you?
£20. Go on, get it from the scut I just threw in the gutter.
Saint Jippo. Too good for me, eh? Well, let me tell you something. You're no better than any other man. You're all alike.
Ah, Katie, I didn't mean that.
Go along with your fine principles. Me, I can't afford them. Good night.
Katie. Katie! £20. It would make all the difference, it would.
Jippo.
Psst. Who's that? Who's that? Where are you?
Back of you, Jippo, in the alley. What's the matter with you, Jippo? Don't you know me?
Frankie McPhillip.
Not so loud.
Jippo, I'm in luck to find you. Me own best friend. The one man in the world I'd...
£20.
What is it, Jippo? What are you staring at?
Nothing. Nothing, Frankie. Only you came on me so sudden like.
I guess I'm getting jumpy. Having a price on my head. 6 months is a long time, my boy, to be out in the hills on the run. Did you deliver the last message, Jippo? What did my mother say?
She blessed the saints you were alive. And she followed me out crying and put a quid in me hand to give to you. But I had no way of finding you. And I was that hungry myself that I spent it.
Ah, you big lubber. She likes you. God knows why. That was her way of giving you some...
20 pounds.
What's come over you, Jippo? What are you gawking at? Is there anything queer about me now?
No. You see, Frankie, I've been court-martialed.
What for, man?
For not finishing the tam that killed Quincannon. I took him out in a lorry and he begged for his life. I couldn't do it, Frankie. Not in cold blood. Besides, he swore he'd desert if I let him go.
And you believed him. What did Commandant Gallagher say?
He never had me plugged when I got back. And he threw me out of the organization. Now the British think I'm with the Irish, and the Irish think I'm with the British. And the long and the short of it is I'm going around starving, without a dog to lick me trousers.
You poor fathead, you. And to think of the jobs we pulled together. Your muscles and my wits, your strength and my plans. And the minute I leave you alone, you're in trouble. Man alive, I'm your brain.
That you are, Frankie. You're me brain, all right.
Aye, but it's your help I'm needing now. Are the 10 still watching the house? Are they on the...
20 pounds.
Quit gaping at me, man. I say, is there a guard in the house?
No. Not now. Not since Christmas.
Then I'm off. To see my mother and sister. Up the rebels, Jippo. Up the rebels!
20 pounds, Jippo. 20 pounds.
All right, Nolan. You can sit over there.
Yes, sir.
Take off your cap and put that cigarette out. There's no smoking in headquarters.
But I've told you where you'd find Frankie McPhillip. Why don't you pay me off and let me go?
The information you gave is being checked. You'll have to wait.
Sitting here like this. Just sitting and waiting. For the love of God, sir, let me have a cigarette.
It's not allowed. Headquarters, yes. I see. Very good.
Was that them now?
Yes. They found Frankie McPhillips at his home. He tried to escape. Was killed.
Killed?
Here's your 20 pounds. You may go now.
Killed. I never thought he'd be killed. Got to have a plan. Got to have a plan.
A plan, Jippo?
What's that?
Don't you know me, Jippo? Don't you know my voice? And have you forgotten? I'm your brain. You can't think without me. You can't make a plan.
Frankie!
Tis a sad day, this, for the McPhillips, Bartley.
Aye, Tommy, aye. And may the informer be cursed with his 20 pounds.
Poor Mary, losing a brother like that. And loving Dan Gallagher like she does, and apt to lose him, too, if the Tans ever get their hands on him.
Tommy, have you noticed Jippo?
Jippo?
Aye, he's been sitting over there for an hour now. Hands rammed down into his pockets and not a word out of him.
He might at least have the decency to speak some comfort to Frankie's mother.
Wait. Look, he's getting up now. He's coming over.
What the devil's wrong with him?
Mrs. McPhillip. Mrs. McPhillip.
Jippo.
I'm sorry for your trouble, Mrs. McPhillip. What are you shouting for, Jippo?
And take your hands out of your pockets, man. Show some respect for the dead. That's better. That's better.
Money.
What's that?
Oh, you've dropped some coins, Jippo. Here.
Leave them alone.
I only wanted to hand them to you.
Leave them alone, I say. They're mine. Mine, I tell you. I swear before God I warned him to stay away from this house.
Good heavens, man. There's no one suspects you.
Aye, Jippo. 'Tis well known you were my Frankie's best friend. My brother liked you, Jippo.
Mary. Mrs. McPhillip. You were good to me. And I'm sorry for your trouble. I'll be leaving these with you. Good night.
Tommy, this afternoon Jippo didn't have a shilling to his name.
Aye, it's the same thing I'd be thinking, Bartley. And something Commandant Gallagher should know. So we followed him, Dan. When he'd had enough drink, we told him you wanted to talk to him. Bartley's got him outside.
Good work, Tommy. All right, Bartley.
Well, here he is, Dan.
Hello, Jippo. Well, you don't seem very glad to see me. You have a grudge against me, Jippo. Why?
There wasn't anything I wouldn't do for you, Dan Gallagher. And then you had me thrown out of the organization. I've been starving for the last 6 months. I got no clothes, no money, no nothing.
You disobeyed orders, Jippo, and endangered the organization. But I'll make a fair deal with you. We'll call everything quits and reinstate you on one condition.
What's that?
If you find the man who informed on Frankie McPhillips.
You mean that? Honest?
Indeed, I do.
Put it there, Dan. I told you I'd do anything for you. How about a drink on it?
Help yourself.
Have one, Tommy. Have one of the Commandant, eh? Here's to you, Dan. Ah, that's the stuff. You can count on me, Dan Gallagher. I've got a plan that...
Plan, Jippo? And where will you get it? I made your plans. Remember? I was your brain. I was your...
What's ailing you, Jippo? Are you daft?
Another glass. I need another drink. Man alive, are you perishing with the drought?
Jippo, remember, you have a job to do.
A job? Look, Dan. I'll tell you who it was informed.
Who?
It was that rat Mulligan.
Mulligan the tailor?
It's him as sure as you're born.
How do you make that out?
Why, tonight I seen him going into the Tan's headquarters.
What time?
Oh, about half after 6. Well, Dan, are you taking me back?
If your statement checks up. Court of inquiry at midnight. Ammunition dump. Jippo, you be there.
Sure, Dan, sure. How about another drink on it?
Man alive, you've eradicated the bottle.
Bartley will pick you up later, Jippo.
You'll find me at Katie's, Bartley, my boy. You know how it is. See you later, Dan. Up the rebels.
It's him, Dan. It's Jippo. I'll stake my life on it.
He's drunk, Bartley.
Drunk, is it? It's a wonder he can walk.
But whoever the informer is, we've got to find him. One traitor can destroy us all. It's our lives against his.
The whole organization.
Follow him, Bartley. Keep at Jippo's heels like a pot of glue.
Right you are, Dan, right.
And Tommy, mobilize the company. Round up Mulligan. We'll find the informer before this night is over.
Lady Esther has presented Act One of The Informer, starring Wallace Ford, Charles Bickford, Reginald Denny, and Isabel Jewell. In just a moment, we will hear the Lady Esther Screen Guild players in Act Two. But first, a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
Tonight I'm going to tell you something that I'm afraid will be a shock to you. Here it is. I was discussing with a skin specialist the dangerous ideas some women have about makeup. They seem to feel that to look glamorous, to achieve a smooth, flawless-looking skin, they must completely plaster their skin with makeup, cover it over with what amounts to a makeup mask. I think you should know what that skin specialist told me. He said when girls come to me with skin trouble, my first warning is never plaster your skin with makeup. If you cork up the tiny pore openings with hard little deposits, you may coarsen and age the appearance of your skin. What's more, you risk little bumps and ugly blemishes. And you may well cause rough, dry flakiness on the skin's delicate surface. To me, it seems appalling that women innocently subject their skins to such risk. When it's so unnecessary, you can easily achieve that smooth, flawless look, a younger, softer look, without danger, without risk to your skin. Millions of women know that Lady Esther face powder, because of its special baby texture, gives you the glamorous finish you want, safely, and for 4 long hours without repowdering. You see, my exclusive method of making powder, my patented twin hurricane process, blows my powder so fine and soft that it goes on your skin like a delicate film and helps safely hide those little lines and freckles. Your skin takes on that fine baby texture look that men seem to admire so much. I hope you'll try Lady Esther face powder. I promise you exciting new loveliness, even in searching bright sunlight.
Mulligan was the guilty man. Mulligan was the informer. In Jippo's childish mind, confused by drink, the thought kept pounding until it was a fact. And so, released from the terror of the thing he had done, the big fellow went carousing through the night, drinking, spending his 20 pounds, giving it away. But everywhere he went, Bartley Mulholland was close at hand, watching, keeping count. And then at last it was midnight, and Bartley led the drunken giant off to meet the others. A group of stern-faced men, a dimly lit room. But as Jippo looks around in dumb surprise, he sees that one man isn't there.
You let him go, Dan. You let Mulligan go.
You didn't do it, Jippo. We have his oath.
Ah, it's easy for an informer, swearing oaths.
He had an alibi. He was with the priest from 6 to 7.
It's a lie. He's lying to you, Dan.
Jippo, where were you at 6:30?
What's it got to do with it where I was?
Would you like to tell us what you did after meeting Frankie McPhillip?
It's a lie.
Jippo, as you see, Frankie's sister is here. Mary.
Yes, Dan.
I'm sorry, Mary. Will you repeat what your brother told you when he arrived home tonight?
He said he'd met Jippo. He said he waited for him in an alley to find out if there was a guard on the house.
Jippo, is that true?
No.
Then why did you cry out at the wake that you'd warned him to stay away from the house?
That's it. I did. That's what I told him.
Ah, you did see him then. Why did you tell those lies about Mulligan? Were you drunk or what?
I know I was drunk.
What did you do after meeting Frankie? Tell me.
And suppose I don't.
Then Bartley Mulholland can do it for you. Come on, man. You'd better tell us yourself.
Me head is splitting. I'm all mixed up.
You've
I can't remember nothing.
You've been spending money about the town, Jippo. And the way Bartley figures it, it comes to exactly 20 pounds.
Me head is sore. I'm drunk, I tell you.
Where did you get that 20 pounds? Tell us.
I can't remember. I can't remember nothing.
Oh, confess, man. Confess and ease your soul.
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. Can't you see what I mean? Is there no man here to tell him why I did it? My head is sore. I can't tell him.
There's no need to now, you filthy swine.
Not here, men, not here. Put down your guns. Take him away.
Come along, Jippo. And mind you now, no tricks.
God have mercy on him. God have mercy.
I'm sorry you had to see this, Mary.
Why must we be killing each other? What good will it do? Why can't we have peace? Oh, Dan, it's cruel, cruel.
It's not revenge, you know. With an informer loose, there's not one of us safe. Not one of us will be...
Dan, listen.
Oh, something's gone wrong.
Dan, he got away. He made a break for it.
There were shots. Did you get him?
I don't think so, Dan. You can't see your own hand in the fog.
Oh, we'll have to work fast, lads. Tommy, Daly, cover the Tan's headquarters, front and rear. Bartley, take a dozen men, cover the bridges.
Right, Dan, right.
Satterley, your group will block the main roads. And remember, men, if he reaches the Tan's before we get him, we're done for. The whole movement's done for, every one of us.
Got to have a plan. Got to have a plan.
Plan, Jippo? Is it a plan you need?
Frankie! Frankie!
I could give you a plan. I'm your brain. Remember?
Frankie, help me. Help me now.
No, I'll not be giving you the plan. On account of what you did to me mother. I'll not forgive you, Jippo. Not until me mother does.
No, Frankie. No, no! Katie. Katie, are you there?
Who is it? Who is it now?
It's Jippo. Open up quick.
Jippo.
Close it, Katie. They're after me.
Oh, Jippo, you put the heart crosswise in me.
Not be getting me, though. We'll go away, Katie. You and me.
Jippo.
Where's the 20 pounds I gave you?
20 pounds? What are you talking about?
I done it for you. That's what I couldn't tell Dan Gallagher. He wouldn't understand.
Did what? What did you do?
Katie, I informed on Frankie.
Informed?
That's how I love you, Katie. Now you're the only one I can trust. Do you love me, Katie? Love me. Love me, Katie.
Oh, sure, I'll love you when I'm Clay, darling. But you don't know what you've done to me this night. You don't know what you've done.
Katie, I'm tired.
Lie down, Jippo. Here on the bed. Lie down and rest yourself now.
Tired, Katie. Running through the fog.
Sleep, Jippo. Try and get some sleep. Don't worry, darling. Katie will look after you. Katie will look after you somehow. Commandant, I'm begging you. Oh, you wouldn't hurt him if you knew how it was.
Katie, in the church next door, there's a mother kneeling at the altar, praying for the soul of her dead boy. Jippo did that.
He did it for me. For me, I tell you. Oh, may God forgive me for shaming him with his poverty and blaming him for mine. He didn't know what he was doing. Oh, let him go.
I'm afraid that isn't within my power.
Oh, Miss McPhillip, you ask him. He'll listen to you. Dan, just this once, couldn't you?
Mary, dear, I'm sorry. The Tans will never let him alone now. They'll drag out of him every single thing he knows.
I'll take him away. I swear by all that's holy.
Where is he, Katie?
In my room. The other side of the church. Oh, please, Miss McPhillip, don't let him do it. I'm not the kind of girl you are, but I love Jippo nonetheless for being what I am. You mustn't know. You're in love, too. Please. Dan, You're in love with him. I can tell by your eyes. Supposing you were begging for his life now. Suppose it was him you were pleading for.
It is me. And all the others who are fighting for what we believe.
Oh, you won't do it. I can see you won't do it.
Mary, wait for me here. I'll be back.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Oh, please, miss. May I kneel beside you? Thy kingdom come. Thy will done on earth as it is in heaven.
Open the door, Jippo!
Open up, Jippo! We've got you cornered!
Cornered, is it? I'll brain the first man comes in that door.
Smash the door down! Into it now! Come on!
Grab him! Hold him!
Look out!
Yes. No, you don't.
Oh, don't shoot! Don't shoot! It's too crowded!
Look out! Dan, he's loose. He got away again. He's heading for the street. Shoot, Tommy, shoot now!
That's it.
Dan, he's still on his feet.
He's done for, Bartley. He's got 5 slugs in him.
Look, he's making for the church.
The church! Mrs. McPhillip's in there.
Dan, I've got 1 slug left.
No, Tommy. Let him go. He'll be needing to make his peace with God.
Mrs. McPhillip.
Jippo.
'Twas I informed on your son. Forgive me, Mrs. McPhillip. You've got to forgive me.
I forgive you, Jippo.
You couldn't have known what you were doing.
Frankie. Frankie, you hear? Your mother forgives me. She forgives me, Frankie. She...
Chippo. God rest your soul.
Thank you, Charles Bickford, Isabel Jewell, Wallace Ford, and Reginald Denny for a memorable performance.
Well, Mr. Bradley, every actor wants to do his best when he appears with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players. You see, we feel that this is really our program because all the benefits from these shows support the wonderful work of the Motion Picture Relief Fund and its country house and clinic. And now, before we tell you about next week's show, a word from one of America's foremost beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Jewell. Ladies, if any friend of yours has changed to a new kind of makeup, one she may not know too much about, you'll be doing her a great kindness to warn her. Tell her what skin specialists have told me, that if she is plastering her face with makeup, masking it with a makeup coating, she may be exposing her skin to these 3 serious dangers. 1, drying out the delicate skin surface. 2, corking up and stretching the pore openings. And 3, because of corked up pore openings, inviting little bumps and even more serious blemishes. Now, I don't mean that anyone must give up glamour. On the contrary. A woman can easily give her skin that smooth, flawless look without danger, simply by using my new baby texture face powder. You see, Lady Esther face powder, made by an exclusive process, becomes so soft and fine that it lies on your face like a delicate, flattering film that helps safely hide little lines and blemishes. And Lady Esther clings 4 long hours without repowdering. Women who use Lady Esther face powder for the first time are always surprised. They say, I never knew that any makeup could make me look so lovely.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present a delightful farce comedy, Make Your Own Bed. It will star Alan Hale, Jane Wyman, and Jack Carson. Be sure to listen. Charles Bickford appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox. Producers of Darrell F. Zanuck's Technicolor production, Wilson. Wallace Ford is currently working in the Bing Crosby production, The Great John L. Isabel Jewell can soon be seen in the Universal production, The Merry Monaghan's. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. To try Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, just get the smallest size jar. Later, you can get the economical large jar and keep refilling the small one for convenience. This is Truman Bradley, speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night, everyone.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.